Don't let the 2013 throw you off. This is what the Secretary of State has as of current. This is the voter registration guide, and inside this book is explaining each one of these numbers more detailed than what I'm going to go through with you. You can take it home with you, read it on your own time, but I'm going to go through the registration form with you to give you the gist of it. So that's the registration form, the registration booklet. I've also given you a packet. On this front page of this packet is the contact information for the Registrar of Voters Office, which has our address and the different areas if you need to contact someone there, which we have the Registrar, which is Tim Dupriest, Cynthia Cornejo, which is the Deputy Registrar. Lolita is in charge of the registration and vote by mail information, and the rest is the admin, elections candidate services. If you need to have any questions answered on voter registration, which would be myself, which my name is LaShawn. I'll spell it for you in case you have any questions later on. LESHAUN. You can give me a call and I can answer them. And I'm going to be under voter registration, the 272-6973 number. The next form that I have for you guys is the list of elections. We just had the February election. Dublin is getting ready to have the May 6th, which is an all vote by mail election. For that, it looks like Monday, April 21st is the voter registration deadline for that election. So any voter registrations that you have and you in your hands or with you guys needs to be postmarked by April 21st in order for them to qualify for the May 6th election. Then we have the June 6th, which is the primary election. That deadline is Monday, and if you look, it's the second one to the bottom of each election. So that's going to be Monday, May 19th for that election. And then for the November election, the voter registration deadline is October 20th. Make sure they're all postmarked that day in order for them to qualify for that election. Next page I have is the list of political offices. A lot of times, a lot of people don't know what actually this party represents. So we went ahead and gave this handout. So anyone that has any questions on any of these political parties, you can go ahead and give them this contact information. Just to let you know, American Elect is a new party. They just qualified, I think, late last year. So letting you know, and no longer natural law is on here. Let's see, going to the next page. This is from the Secretary of State. This is the felony list. This is who's been in jail, served time. This tells you who can vote and who cannot. If you go to the back of the page, you may be out there registering people and someone wants to ask you a question. They have the yeses they can and no they cannot. Not eligible, in state prison or in a county jail serving a state time, in a county jail for a felony sentence, or on parole or mandated probation. You cannot register to vote. You can register to vote if you are in a county jail for a misdemeanor in county jail because of a condition of your probation, as long as you're currently not a felon. On probation, not a felony. And done with parole, any court order, probation, you're able to register to vote. And everything explains it on here, and it's also inside the registration packet. Next page, I think you guys already received it. This is the list of pay for the polling places. You may get questions asking you, I want to vote at the polls for election day. This is the information. They can contact the Registrar of Voters Office, and they'll be gladly to take the person that wants to vote and work at the polls for that day. So that's the little packet that I hand out. So next, I'm going to go through just let you know, the class doesn't take very long. Just let you guys know that. The time will be here. Any questions so far?
Yeah,
Yes.
So maybe dumb questions. Voter registration for example, primary election will automatically also register for the November general election?
Yeah. This is just new registrations, or I'm coming from another county, I want to be registered for this election day. It's any changes. You want to change your political party, because you know the June election goes by your political party. So, yeah. Okay, so what I'm going to do, tell me if I'm going too fast, because I just talked a little fast.
excuse me, can you repeat that again? You said June election is by political
By party,
So
yes,
if
it's-
I currently register a Democrat, I cannot vote for a Republican candidate.
Correct, not until November.
That's very important.
Now
so
just,
we have to change it, make changes, right? If you
well,
want.
the election is slightly ajar, and what they mean by that is, and some of you may already know, that if you are nonpartisan, there are some parties that allow crossover voting for most of the races, not all the races, which is Democratic, Republican, and American Independent. As of right now, I don't know which of those parties are allowing crossover voting. By the time you get your sample ballot book, it will tell you inside of there which parties are going to allow the crossover voting. So if you're nonpartisan, they'll let you jump over and vote for either Democratic, Republican, or American Independent. But that's only if they allow it. And as of right now, I don't know who.
I heard that like the open primary since the 2 years ago.
More than that. It's been a while.
Yeah, but that has been changed.
They made it slightly ajar.
But like when was that changed?
In the 2000s, I know that.
No. I mean, I heard it like 2 years ago. It was open primary.
No, it wasn't. It was slightly ajar then too. It was the same way. It was only the Democratic, Republican, American Independent allowed crossover voting. It's been like that for some time, and actually everybody voted on that to happen. It's been a while.
So open primary definition versus
It's like
all
November.
understanding is-
It's like the November election. It means you can vote any way you like.
But
Excuse me, how about for the June 3rd election?
June 3rd,
Yeah.
it's slightly ajar.
So do you mean if somebody registered as the Democrat, he or she can only
Vote for their Democratic
Democrat.
candidates,
He cannot
yes.
cross-party.
I think you're talking about the top two.
Huh?
Yeah, the top
Yeah,
one.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
Okay,
different. That's
so
completely
so what
different.
is that? What's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
difference?
You know how before you would pick up a candidate from every single party? Now it's not like that. Two of the same people can run for the same seat. Two of the same political party people can run for the same seat.
But you like say
You have to have the most votes.
Hypothetically, I'm currently registered as Democrat. I want for vote for the District 16 Assemblyman Baker. So she is
You have to
Republican.
be registered within your party.
Ooh, good
Yes.
to know.
Even
Yes.
for the June 3rd, huh?
Yeah, that's for the June 3rd. The November is open. You can vote any way you like.
Oh,
So the changing, either you can fill this form or online. Online is much quicker.
Either one. Yeah, online. Yeah. I would
What,
do
what
online.
if registers a no party preference?
You have to, if Democrats allow it, Republican or American Independent, if they allow crossover voting, then you can. If they do not, you're going to have to vote nonpartisan, which you know there are no nonpartisan candidates.
So how do I find out? I mean,
so far you don't know the policy.
As of right now, I don't know
So
who
when
it is.
can we know that?
When you receive your candidate book, it will tell you who is allowing it, which you will start getting it 40 days prior to the election. So
But
it's
if-
on there. It's on here. It tells you right here. So for the June election, looks like early voting. The first day voter guides will go out is March 27th. That's for the May. So for June, April 24th is the first day they're going to mail out the books.
but if I register no party preference, will I receive
You're
any
out.
mail
You will receive a booklet.
from which party? Because I don't
You
have
will
a
receive a book from the
Oh,
county.
kind of from a county.
Yeah, telling you your nonpartisan races. But then you will also get something if Democratic allowed crossover voting. You will get a letter from the county saying we are offering you, by being a nonpartisan voter, to either cross over to either one of these three parties, whichever one allows it. Yeah, it's like that.
Oh, and these change from every year?
No, it's been like that every year.
No, I mean whether the
Well, yeah,
party
the
allows.
party allows it. Yes, they are the ones that allow it. Yeah, I think a few years back, all parties allowed it at one time. Since I've been there, I think I've only seen that one time. I think last election it was only Republican, or no, it was Democratic and American Independent that allowed it. Republican didn't allow it.
That doesn't make sense. I mean, I definitely want to get more votes from
Yeah.
either within a party or outside a party, right?
And I think
But-
if they allow crossover voting, you cannot vote for your federal offices. Your federal
yes,
offices,
the
you're not
federal
allowed to
we
cross over
understand,
vote.
but like state level, you're not sure.
No, from the Secretary of State, I don't know which parties are going to allow crossover voting yet. They haven't sent the
Okay.
letter out to us yet,
Okay.
saying that.
So
Yeah, I
that
think
has been changed every year,
That
every
changes
election,
every primary.
primary.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
'Cause the party
I think
says
I
who they
can
want.
get someone confirm that.
Yeah, you can always call the Secretary of State and find out if they've released
Yeah.
it yet.
Mhm.
I haven't seen it. And then the top two are any party can run against each other, not just one from every single party. Say your top two go-getters are both Democratic, you will run against each other. And that's what the top two are. That's what's new. Okay. So I'm going to go through the registration form with you. The first one is number 1. We want you to, now you need to pay attention to some of the forms. Some of them are backwards. Some will ask you for your first name first, then your last name. This one asks for your last name first, and then your first name. So, yeah, it's crazy. So, number 1 is your last name. Oh, wait.
First name.
First name.
Confused, yeah, it's really confused.
Oh, yeah, no, looking at the bottom. Well, no, some forms are like that, though. Some forms will ask for your last name and then your first name. So it'll be, yeah. So print your name. If you can read it, we can read it. Needs to be eligible. Illegible. Just to let you know, if you don't want to have issues with jury duty, I would match it exactly how your ID or driver's license is, because if it is not, you can get called to jury duty multiple times. Number 2 is your residence address. Residence address has to be the location where you lay your head down at night. Yeah.
You sure? I see, number 2 actually is the last name. To the right, yeah.
No, that's
See,
last
I'm looking at it upstairs. Okay, first name, last name, number 4. Okay. Number 3, your surname, Mr. or Mrs.
Yeah.
Then number 4 is your
Home address.
home address. Do not put a P.O. box here. You're gonna have another space to put that in. If a person is homeless that you are registering, they're gonna have box 6. And how it works is they need to put the cross streets. Needs to be like, for instance, I'm gonna give the courthouse. We are on Fallon Street and the front block. Fallon Street and 10th. Just giving that 10th and Fallon. So they would have to do their cross streets, because how we're gonna do it is we're gonna give them a precinct. And it needs to be where they lay their head down at night. So that's how it works.
So where you said the cross street, where to put the
That'd
cross
be number
street?
6. That's for homeless.
Oh, homeless.
So they would spell out the cross streets. Number 7 is the mailing address. So for number 4 or 6, if you have a mailing address, that's where it would go in number 7. Number 8 would be the city. Number 9 is the birth date, which is mandatory because you have to be 18 years to vote. Just to let you know, if that person is going to be 18 by that election, they are able to register now, and we'll go ahead and hold them, put them in the system, and then once the birth date rolls around, it gets unlocked, and then they're able to vote. Just a little more information, there's a law that's passed that just has not gone into effect now, that you can be 16 to register to vote, but you cannot vote until you're 18. Makes no sense for the law, but number 10 is the state you were born in. Number 11 is your California ID, and on the side of it is your Social Security. Social Security, the last 4 digits. We need one of those numbers. It is mandatory and it is not. And the reason why, in order for this registration to get validated, it has to be confirmed through the Secretary of State, and the easiest way for them to do that is to verify you by your ID number, your driver's license or ID number. If the person doesn't give us neither one, it's just going to take a little longer for you to get registered. What the Secretary of State is do is they're going to find you, then they're going to give you an identifying ID number. It just takes a little longer to register you. Let's see, number 12 and 13 is your email and your phone number. Just to let you know, we have gone green, so if you do give us your email address, once we get you into the system, you have that option of going onto our website, go under voter profile, and you can opt out and you can get everything through email, except for your ballot if you become a vote by mail voter. That's the only thing you will not get in the email, but you will get your booklets and all reading materials through the email if you opt in to do that. And then the phone number, just to let you know also, if you do give us your email or phone number or both, we are obliged by the state to sell this information to the candidates and someone that has a measure of proposition on the ballot. If you don't want them robocalling you or getting any calls from them, try not to give your phone number. Email, they're not going to bother you that bad. You can always delete it. But the phone number, they'll call you. So if you don't want them calling you, I wouldn't give the phone number. Number 14 is your political party. Like I was saying before, American Elect is a new party. Natural Law is no longer qualified. If you don't want any party, go ahead and check this box on the side, which I declined to state what party I am. That's it on the party. Number 15 is saying that you want to receive your ballot by mail. Go ahead and initial on the side right there, and we'll send you your ballot every time you're qualified to vote for that election, and you'll get it 29 days prior to the election. Let's see, that's one if you're registered to vote. Oh, number 16 is if you are moving from another county and you want us to notify that county that you are now in Alameda County, or you have a name change within Alameda County, you've got married, you need to change your information, you'll still fill out the top part, but you'll also fill out 15 so we can go ahead and merge your old with your new. Let's see. Number 17, are you a U.S. citizen? Yes, you have to be a citizen in order to register to vote. And number 18, will you be 18 by that next election? Yes, yes. We need you to make sure you sign in this box, date it. When you come over here to the side in this box with the green highlight on it, it's asking you, would you like to be a poll worker? You can go ahead and check that. We'll notify the poll working office that you're interested in working. If you speak another language, will be helpful. We need a lot of that during election time. If you can use your home or you know a location as a polling place, go ahead and check that box if you do. And then we have new languages now that at the Registrar of Voters office. So we will give the ballots out in English. Well, English, everything's going to be half and half. Everything is English. Then it's also going to go with Spanish English, Vietnamese English, Tagalog English, Chinese English, Spanish, Chinese, Vietnamese and English. Those are the main ones that we have. But we do now have registration forms in Japanese, Hindi, Khmer, Thai, and Korean. We will have cheat sheets at the polling location to help some people understand what's going to be on the ballot in those other languages also. Let's see what else. Now, when you're out registering people and you actually have your pen fill out one of these forms for someone, you're going to have to fill out these two boxes right here. This top part right here, you're going to fill out completely. What it is you're going to do both. You're going to fill out the top part and the bottom part. When you're finished helping that person fill out, you'll tear off this bottom part. You'll give this to the voter. That's going to be their ID number, and then that's you that helped them fill this form out. This top part will come back to us along with telling us that you helped that person fill this form out. So that's what it is. But what you would do is tear it off. There is a sealant here. You can wet it, or you can just drop the whole thing in the mailbox. It is postage paid. It will get back to us. Little more information. You are not to hold a voter registration form no longer than 72 hours. So if I would get them, I turn them in every night in the evening, drop it off at your local polling place. I mean at your local post office, and just drop them in the mailbox. They'll get to us. What else? You are not able to make copies of any registration forms. You cannot scan them. All the information on here is supposed to be confidential. Let's see what else. I'm trying to think what else is there. You need to make sure you have all forms that are filled out in your possession 15 days prior to the election, mail or at our office. I'm trying to think what else is there. I think that's majority it. The main information. As long as you can fill out, as long as you can understand a form, we can understand it. That's a lot of our problems. We can't understand what people are writing on them. That's why we've started giving these classes. Any questions?
So people can take the form home.
Oh yeah.
And
I would do that. Let them take it.
If somebody feel in the registration table,
drop it in the mailbox.
So how to fold it?
If you once you tear this bottom piece off, there's a sealant right here. You can see it. You gotta look close, or you can just staple them closed, fold them, tape them. Staple, tape it, just drop it in the mailbox.
Remove the bottom.
Yeah, because this is the voter's receipt,
You have to do.
or the person registering to vote. That's their
Oh,
receipt.
the bottom part is peel off.
Do we need how to fill up this part at the bottom cabinet?
Yeah, you're just gonna fill it out. It's just gonna ask for your name, your signature, and what organization.
I mean, when we would like to send it out by mail
Oh, if you wanted to send these out,
on behalf of the.
I think the question is if the voter filled it in, but they want us to mail it for
oh, that's
them.
fine. You can do that. Yeah, you can do
And
that.
do we need to fill in the?
No, you didn't fill it out. It's only when you actually fill it out for them.
It's
Yeah.
no library because you said that the information is supposed to be confidential. You know, it's okay for us to collect and then help
Oh
them
yeah.
to mail.
As long as you don't copy, scan them, you're fine. Yeah.
I have a question. When you hear, maybe people will figure out. You said the line 16. Say you were registered to vote. You mentioned name change, something, but there is actually one item that you mentioned before. I just want to confirm is the political party preference change, right? That's also you have to indicate it here, right?
If you do, you can't tell someone to check a party. You cannot do that.
No, I cannot. But
Yeah, but what happens is if they do not, it's going to be nonpartisan.
Oh.
If nothing is checked, it's going to be no party preference, and that's what we put in the system.
But that's the older one, right? So if as long as I put in on the top, the 14, line 14, I check. I don't care the bottom one. If I already registered, it will overtake
You have to-
whatever is in the system, right?
Yeah, a new one will take whatever's in the system prior.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have a question. So, what makes a registration invalid?
Once we mail something to your home and it comes back to us stating that that person no longer lives there, that will invalidate a registration.
So, like, what mistakes if they
No
put it
mistakes.
in?
We're gonna key it in as best we can, and what we cannot figure out, we have voting missing information letter that we'll send to that person saying you didn't have this on your registration. Can you send that to me, telling me what you want? The only things we don't ask for is the state you were born in. The state you were born in. If you're missing your ID address or your last four, we'll mail you a letter. If you're missing your birth date, we're gonna mail you a letter. If your address has an issue, we're gonna hopefully find you some way by email, and then we'll email you saying there's an issue with your mailing address. Can you tell us what the correct one is?
So a lot of people may not know that you cannot do cross-party vote. Is it okay for us, who volunteer at the
Yeah, and
election
it-
table to remind them that, in case you want
Oh
to?
yeah, they're not gonna be able to anyways. They're not gonna be on their ballot.
No, but you remind them. Some people
can
that
tell
are registered as Democrat want to this time vote to Republican or vice versa, right? So they, it's okay to do so.
Yeah, you can tell them. You're not telling them how to vote. You're just letting them know.
No, did it?
Yes.
Okay.
Can they change their party preference by
Yes.
setting up?
They'll fill the whole thing out like they're registering for the first time. Anytime you change any information, and you can do it as many times as you like, you always have to fill it
Last
out.
time they were, for example, someone they registered as a Republican, and this time they registered as a Republican.
However-
So the system will
With the most current one.
But if someone who registered before, which means if you want to change your party preference, then you need to fill out 14 and 16, right?
They need to fill the whole thing out.
14. But
Oh
what
no, if they're in Alameda County, they do not fill out 16. If they are moving within Alameda County, you do not touch 16. It's only when you're coming from another county.
Yeah, but what if you change the party
Party
preference?
You will fill your party preference is 14.
Yeah, but if it's a change, there's a change.
Yeah,
It
you
doesn't
just
matter.
pick a new one.
Fill
Fill a new one.
So you fill the whole thing
Yeah, because
out.
here it says 16 has a previous party preference.
They don't use that here. That's probably a basic. This is a basic form from the Secretary of State. It's just Alameda County doesn't use that. Yeah. How it even has asked for your race. We don't
So
even do
basically
that.
the 14 is sufficient regardless if you registered before or not, or regardless of which party you registered, before.
Mhm.
Okay, so as long as you fill out 14, that's enough.
Correct.
Yeah.
You override everything.
Yeah.
Right.
Is it legal to let the voter to leave their phone number, name, and email address after they fill this form?
To leave it with you? If they want to, that's them. Yeah.
So we can.
You just cannot make copies or scan this. But if the voter is willing to give you any of their contact information, that's fine. The voter's giving that to you. It's just you can't take it off of here. But let me tell you this. If you guys are supporting a candidate, you have a measure out there, you are able to purchase